So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 wires and 1/16 wire nut.
Any mice in there?
No.
He got baptized by a streetcar.
Oh my Lord. Hello.
Hello?
What matter of things have happened?
We dove deep.
I see that. I've missed out on a lot here.
Check this out. I've got the ignition system out of it. I'm taking my 1987 bump box out of here. My Outlaw bump box. As you can see, the wiring is all exposed. There's no heat shrink on anything. This one here was just like that. Just 2 spade connectors together there. And when I went to take everything apart, like this was here, and just pulled right out of it. Like, this old truck needs updated real bad. This is basically my high school truck, and it's just evolved over time. And it's to the point now where it's gonna start costing me races, or it already has started costing me races, really. And it needs updated. It needs all rewired. It's gonna get a Holley FI system, fuel injection. It'll have the nice Pro Dash, the Holley Pro Dash up there. I got an insert for it. Holley actually makes an insert just for the S10s to fit a 6.86 Pro Dash in there. So I have the same dash as what's in my Nova. We're thinking about turbo placement now. Thinking about moving them back behind the front wheels like the Nova is. It's gonna require a little bit of modification to the firewall. Not sure how deep I want to go into that with some of the rule changes and stuff, but it's one of those things. It's a gray area, but yeah, we'll get into that later as we get closer. But we've got a K member coming Monday or Tuesday from 417 Motorsports. Gonna put a tubular K member in it, rack, get rid of all the stock steering components. The steering gearbox is really heavy that's in it. K member itself takes out almost 100 pounds. The aluminum block takes out about 100 pounds, so that's 200 pounds off the nose. Plus all the other stuff we're taking off, control arms, things of that nature. I got a set of tubular control arms from Trick Chassis. We're gonna do a long travel kit, so it's gonna have almost 9 or 10 inches of travel if we want. It's gonna be ridiculous. It's gonna be a monster on the street, and it's been a monster on the street for the longest time with literally the worst parts. Basically everything I've ever wanted to do or thought was a good idea, I'm about to do. There's gonna be nothing left, you know, nothing that I can say, oh well, if we had this, you know, we'd probably be at the front, or if we had this, you know, the truck could win every race.
So no more excuses.
No, this thing's pretty much gonna, I mean, it won a lot of races this year. It honestly did. It won that big race at KD.
Limpy's first Ohio cash days.
Limpy's cash days in Ohio. There was a few others, you know, that were pretty big races that it won, or at least went all the way to the finals. And you know, it deserves it. It's put in work. It put in major work when the Nova went down. And I feel that it's proven that it needs some work and it needs some money put into it, like I did with the Nova. And once we get this done, we're gonna start working on the Nova again. Bob's got the engine up there at the machine shop, and he's working on it once he gets my dad's motor done for the Malibu. So it should be back soon too. And all we really need to do is fix a little spot on the frame and put the engine back in it and put the front end back on it. And it's pretty much, it should all come back together pretty quick. You know, we've done most of the hard part, the fabrication on it, so.
You got a hole burned in your pocket, apparently.
Well, I got rid of the Mustang, so that's gonna help fund some of this. I really wanna get serious with the racing program. I know the street cars are a lot of fun, but I'll have another eventually, and I've got that S10 that I'm gonna work on once all this stuff's taken care of. But honestly, my focus is on coming out next year and being the fastest on small tires. Me, you know, wherever we go, I want to be in the finals. Doesn't matter where it's at, front side, back side. I just want to come out and dominate, you know. I want to shut everyone up that talks shit all the time. I'm just driven right now, and I got to get rid of some of the toys that I don't need.
So you got your whole front end off, radiator, or the core support's out. So you still got these freaking, a lot of people, look, we used to talk about this stuff a lot back in the day, but there's a lot of new followers that probably don't know, like, when we say this is stock style suspension, I mean, these are literally the 4.3 springs that came with this truck.
Yeah, the original springs.
Like, this thing has so much more potential if you thought it was already.
It would work a lot better if it had a longer spring with more stored energy in it. Right now,
well, my truck, we put those Merso trick springs in it, and I think
those work good for stock style suspension.
Yeah.
But I mean, the truck's been really fast for what it has into it, you know. It's gonna get a whole lot faster. So the Falcon better watch out.
This dude. So basically, to do this K-member, you have to cut off the frame rails, is what you're saying, or?
So basically the K-member, it bolts up back here and locates back here on this bolt hole. And then it's got stubs that come out, and then you have to plate it right here. You cut the frame and you plate it, and then you drill a hole to get the stubs through, and then you weld everything once everything's lined up right. So we get rid of this gearbox, get rid of all this stock steering stuff.
Oh yeah, you're gonna do a rack and pinion, right?
It's the K-member comes with a steering rack already on it, and it comes with core support and bumper mounts. So everything will bolt right up just like it would factory, but it's gonna be about 100 pounds less. There's only 2 companies I know of that make them.
We're going from that to that.
Yeah.
So.
And Jeff Thomas, we're using Jeff Thomas's long travel kit. Not a whole lot of people know that he makes an S10 long travel kit, but he does. And it's really, really nice.
Also, if you guys notice anything different about the footage, look how wide it is. We got a new lens.
Oh, really nice lens.
We got a new lens for filming in the shop this winter. It's something super wide. Look at it, Rob. How cool it is.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah, it's nice. So, something to make the shop videos look a little better. I know everybody was complaining about stuff being dark and stuff, so. Also, this is in 4K, so we're gonna try that out. Who knows? You guys will have to let us know if it looks better.
Yeah, so before I had an ignition system, I had an ignition box, I had an ignition controller, I had a bump box, I had a boost controller, I had a dump valve controller, I had like 7 different boxes. I had a retard box to tell the ignition system to retard timing based on boost. So I had like 7 or 8 things all doing something all at once. And with the Holley, I'll have everything in one. So it just makes a lot more sense in today's day and age. You know, if you want to do blow through, you can do it the hard way like I did it. Or you can get a Haltech VMS, which is what I was planning on doing for a while, which kind of simplified things a little bit more. Or you can do it with the way I did it, which was the cheap way, basically. For the longest time, all I had was a 6AL box, programmable. I had bought that AMS 1000 boost controller secondhand, you know, used, and all that stuff. You know, I probably didn't have but $1,000 in the whole system to run the truck. You know, the boost controllers, the ignition, the dump valve controller was pretty cheap. You know, so it was the cheap way to go about it back then, but it's definitely more complicated and not as good. It's nice being able to pull up a data log and see every little thing working all at once, rather than not having anything, because everything's on a different box and nothing's communicating with each other. Yeah, now it's not going to be all in here, and it's going to be, I can bring it up in a data log and see everything and how it's working. You know, before I couldn't even see if it was pulling ignition timing. There's no way to verify that on a run. You know, with the grid you can, but I couldn't get a memory card for it to work. It was all just ancient stuff, and half the time it wouldn't connect to the laptop. Just a big pain.
Okay, so I literally just took this off of here, and I think there was, oh, these ones were in there too. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 wires and 1/16 wire nut.
It's pretty epic.
It is pretty epic, isn't it?
7 wires and what?
7 wires and 1/16 of a size wire nut.
I mean, this ain't no car show. We just like to race.
Yeah, but
I
there's
wonder
also,
who did that.
I'm not sure who did that.
Must rhyme with Phil.
Will?
Some Phil Billy.
Oh, there. Look, oh, there's another one. Look, Tommy. Get here. You want to get that before I take it apart?
Go ahead.
Look at that. Oh, here's another one. Another one. All right. So this is right here is a bittersweet moment for Billy. This has been in here since he was in high school. It's like, oh, ho, 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 ho. Look at that.
We done took like 50 pounds out of the interior already.
Take nippers and just nip those wires off. We ain't using none of that.
So, fun fact, this truck is from Century Chevrolet, just outside of Denver, Colorado. That's why the dash is all cracked, and that's why the sun has faded the paint, cracked it. But there's not a speck of rust on it.
However, you did not buy it in Colorado.
No, it actually showed up in Granville, Ohio. And the guy was a mechanic that we bought it off of, drove it to work every day. Smoked a pack of Camels every day. It smelled like Camel cigarettes for about 3 years. Till finally it caught on fire, and then it just smelled like fire.
Hey, hold on before you go any further. See those bolts right there?
Yeah.
Take those off, it'll let the column drop down and it'll come out easier. What are they, 13s look like? Should be.
Yeah, 12 and 13.
Should be.
These gold ones here?
Yeah. I have to feed wires out through, like. There's still stuff that we couldn't see to get out.
I think this wiring is like stuck to it.
Yeah, probably. I've been sweating.
It's okay. Any mice in there?
No. Take it out your way.
Ain't that heavy.
Take it your way, big guy.
Maybe like 15 pounds.
Oh, please. It ain't that heavy.
It's probably like 10.
You can get back in the gym.
Oh my God, it's a prey mod. Look how much room you have, Billy. So now we unbolt this.
Now it looks like all the Fox bodies without a dash.
Yeah.
Matting in here.
Sound deadening.
Yeah.
That's nasty.
This is a fucking street car, dude. People don't even understand. Y'all had trouble with this. Y'all were having trouble with this thing. Well, just wait.
Wow.
Just trying to figure out how we put a dash bar through there and get past all this bullshit.
Well, that's not going to be there anymore.
Look, you could just go look at my truck.
Why not? Why is it not going to be there?
Because they're going to move the master cylinder off the firewall. So you're going to have one of these in there, like the Nova. So you take that out, and then this mounts to this bar.
The steering column's still got a bolt to this though.
It will. It'll bolt to that piece that's coming down right there. You see what I'm saying?
No. So this bottom part
That comes off.
comes off. Well, we've made a lot of progress, as you can see. It's like 5 pounds. It's like a pound. Like a couple pounds. All this wiring is unnecessary. Like, this is my dump valve controller for the dump valves.
So I missed the part earlier. You said, how many controllers and gauges did you have? I got the controllers part, but how many gauges did you have in this thing?
Eight or nine. 8 or 9 different gauges.
So
now it's just gonna have one.
On your little Holly dash?
The Holly dash, yeah. So I had a bump box. Had a dump valve controller. Come over here. This was my boost controller. This is what you always see me messing with. Up where the rear view mirror would have been. That's how I always programmed my boost ramps. So I would program that. I would have to program my ignition with a different laptop for the grid, just to change my launch RPM and retards and whatever. Just a lot of, it creates a lot of wiring that's ugly looking. So it's gonna be greatly simplified now, the Holly.
Well, just recently, I remember before the No Prep Kings Norwalk, you finally upgraded your box to the 8 gold or whatever it was, the gold box. And like, you're like, I'm out of room. Like, I have nowhere to put anything.
Yeah, it's pretty much running out of room in the cab of the truck for shit. That 8 box is big and bulky, and really wasn't anywhere for it. Where do you think we should put the Holly in this thing? Behind the dash or over here like the Nova was?
The glove box insert is, because we don't really use it anymore. I'm going to take that out and then make off the dash bar, make a mount off of the dash bar, and then when you open the glove box, like the cable and everything can come right through there, or down underneath it, it doesn't matter, but I just put it right there so it's easy to get to, sees trouble lights, whatever.
Yeah, this won't be nearly as complicated as the Nova was because we're not doing the Pro 600 on this car. So the Pro 600 is it's basically an ignition box, and it's only, I'm pretty sure it's only for EFI vehicles.
It's a spark enhancer.
Yeah, it's
a CDI box, a spark enhancer.
Yeah, it makes it so that you run the MSD CDI ignition coils, the badass coils, and it's really just for cars that are 50, 60 pounds of boost, methanol, maybe nitro, cars that are really, really fast. Like most of the No Prep Kings cars probably have
you can't get
the CDI boxes.
The dwell gets to be too high for the coils to handle, so you have to have that to be able to run a higher dwell.
The Falcon, it runs the factory coils and it runs everything off the Holly, because the Holly has outputs for ignition coils as is. You don't have to have a Pro 600 to fire the coils, but it enhances the spark.
Gotcha.
And I kind of went overkill on the Nova just because it's the Nova. And it was supposed to be my bad. Yeah. I mean, I plan on running like 50 pounds of boost through it eventually, you know, and trying to go low fours. I just wanted to make sure everything, we did all the wiring once and that was it. We're not gonna have to go back and add on to it, you know, as we get faster. Like, I wanted to do it once.
And when we did plan out the wiring for the Nova, we did plan it out as far as extra inputs and outputs and stuff are already in the harness. So if we have to add something, it's not like we have to cut everything apart to add something. All we have to literally do is just go to that wires that are already there.
This thing, it's like everything evolved from the first build that was in it, and we just kept adding and adding and adding and adding, and there's stuff in there that hasn't been used in years, you know. So it's time to start fresh.
It all started out with the nitrous on the horn button.
Yeah, I used to have my nitrous on the horn button back in the day, and I had the 2-step on the heater controls.
Dude, we used to wire Mustangs back in the day. It was on the cruise control on the steering wheel.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's much needed, and the truck's gonna come out 10 times better than it has ever been. It deserves it, really does. It deserves to be right. How many wiring nuts did you take out of there?
6 in total.
6 wire nuts was in
They
there.
had at least, at the minimum, 5 wires in each one.
How many spade connectors into the fuse block?
Oh, you don't talk about it. Way too many.
Yeah.
There will not be a spade connector in this truck after I'm done. It'll be all weather pack connected just like the Nova is.
But I mean, that's what got us by.
It did for years.
It got us by, you know.
For years.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, it's time to upgrade, you know. If we want to be the best, we got to have some good shit.
Trying to get serious.
Yeah. Tired of being the underdog.
We're gonna put the glass doors on it. You wanna do that too?
Yeah, I'm gonna get them to match the doors that it had.
You're gonna paint the fiberglass doors?
I'm gonna have Jeff Green do them to match those. I mean, we're taking a bunch of weight out of it. Might as well take another 70 out of the doors again.
Yeah, because it's just gonna help. Because
Yeah.
we can put weight back there if we need. You know what I mean? Like, we'll be able to move
I mean,
ballast around now.
Let's think about it. So 100 pounds just in the block, 100 pounds in the K-member, another 20 in the steering box, that's 220. Lightweight steering column, another 15 pounds.
Yeah.
You're gonna be under 3,000 pounds.
235.
70 pounds in the doors.
Core support, aluminum core support might be 10 pounds. There's 245. If we move the turbos back, we might not have to run as much weight in the back at that point. So we could deduct another 50 out of the back, about 275, 285. And then you do the doors, which is another 70. So you're looking at like 340 pounds.
Wiring
Yeah,
over
plus
there
all
and
that wiring and stuff. I mean, it's a
heater
good
box, all that
350
stuff.
pounds if we do everything.
Yeah.
Then you go and spend $5,000 like Tony on titanium bolts.
Never.
We haven't even touched the titanium.
And you'll lose
bolt yet.
5 more pounds.
I mean, there's still a lot more to take out.
It's more like a 1/10 of a pound.
3150, no prep weight without me in it, and it was like 3330 with me in it. So now it's going to be about 2950 with me in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which the Falcon was 2980 with me in it.
2780 or 2800 without me in it.
So these two cars will sit really close to the same.
Yeah, now we're going to really see, you know. They both have 370s.
He's got to do all this just to get around that pile over there.
Yeah, I've been around you before, honestly, but now one thing I know people are going to comment, well, you've taken all this weight out, is it going to wheelie more? The answer is probably yes on the front side, but I plan to race this on the street and backside more than anything. And if I ever need to put weight back in the front, it's always easy to hang weight on the nose. It's hard to get it
Especially
off.
with having the tubular K member, like we can get
hang
the
those
weights-
clamp-on weights
yeah, the
down
clamp-on
low.
weights down low, and it make this thing do whatever. The radiator and everything's not going to be up here anymore, so that's another.
Yeah, we're going to rear mount the radiator. That's another 50.
That's an easy 50 pounds.
Anything that was in the front that we moved to the back, we can deduct out of the weight bars
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly.
to keep it that percentage, or just leave it back there and let it f***ing eat.
And pretty much with the weight bars that we had to have in there before to make the ballast right, we could probably take them completely out now and it would act
probably
like
go.
it would act like the same truck, probably. I'm thinking.
Because we've got, that's another thing. We're thinking once we do all this, we're thinking we're low 2,800 pounds, but that's with 125, 150 in the back.
Right.
So if you were able to take that out, if you put this thing on radials or something and get after it, you could be 2,650, 2,700.
Like the Nova.
Right.
And make 1,800 horsepower.
Yeah. And then you're getting into Mustang weight. You're getting closer to Mustang weight.
Yep.
Out here, right?
Yeah, all that stuff can come out.
And then that gives us more room for a dash bar to go behind it.
Right.
Because I was thinking, if this comes out, it should give us enough room to get a dash bar in here up high above, so the contours.
Mm-hmm.
Because there should be nothing in that area if we take that air box out. All right, guys, it might look scary now, but I promise here in a month or so, it's all gonna look amazing. It has to get ugly before it gets nice. Gotta dissect everything that's needing to be dissected. It's gonna wrap it up. We're gonna try and vlog pretty much semi-daily as we're working on these projects in the shop. So if you like this style of video, let us know. If you don't, we won't do it as much, but it's just how it's gonna be, I guess. If you guys like the new lens, let us know. We also filmed in 4K for the first time, so let us know what you think of the quality of the video and stuff like that. Appreciate your feedback. But yeah, like I said, we'll be in the shop. Once we get this K-member in, it's elbows and assholes and wiring and plumbing, and we're gonna be putting the motor in it and doing a front plate. Gonna be plenty of work, plus doing the turbo kit. I might have somebody coming out to help me with the turbo kit, a friend from actually Colorado. If he can get the time to come out, it's gonna be awesome because he does some awesome work. Got a lot of work to do. We'll be vlogging the whole process, so hopefully you guys enjoy. See you next time.